good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? Welcome back to our 1 year milestone of doing these daily Casper crypto lives. Of course, there have been the occasional day that I have not been live due to personal family related issues, but that being said, we have by all means gone a full year straight of streaming every day with crypto, with Casper. I made a video on my channel earlier today covering all the significant developments we have seen since we have started this journey together. From 10 BPS launching, to smart contracts on the way, to the listing of Casper on Kraken Exchange, to being added by Marathon, recognition by Grayscale, the KF and KRI launching. So much has happened in this year for Casper, and that's just Casper as well. Of course, the actual fundamental macros equally been very interesting. The yen carry trade drama, the war between Iran and Israel that happened. We saw a blackout at one point as well that I forgot to mention, happening in France and Spain as well. Trump's tariffs, that has caused a lot of FUD. Trade war, continuing ongoing trade war. There's been so much that's happened, and it has been honestly quite therapeutic to watch back on what has happened right now. As we see in the market right now, we are not doing very well, and that is because of tariff drama once again. We had some reassuring macro data that did alleviate some of the pressure from the market, but it looks like developments continue and FUD continues to grow. So if you haven't watched the video about what we have gone through in the past year, I made a video on my channel earlier today. If you want to get a kind of a catch up on everything we've been doing here every single day, then definitely watch this video here in a nice 19 minute version of it. But that being said, we are still here through the good and the bad, and we'll get into the updates for today's stream, which is going to be an interesting one, covering some of the big developments coming through. Apparently how the United States has entered the so-called golden age of crypto, which the SEC have been a key factor of that. Casper, which is currently correcting in value off the back of the macro news. I'm hoping we'll start finding stability and start reversing soon. Again, think about it, we are 30 days away now, 30 days from smart contracts on the mainnet, and we are seeing so much more development. We are seeing so much transactions taking place in Casper right now. So it's a big deal. So we'll get into all of that in this stream as always. And as you enjoy the daily content, you've been with me throughout the whole year, or even not as long, but been here with me pretty much every single day, you know what to do. Leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. And welcome back again to the Quick Crypto Coin Factory family. DD again, my man, welcome back, brother. You're doing very, very well. KJI, let's go indeed. I'm not worried. It's going to pump utility coins. I remain confident in Casper, especially for the future. You and me both, Double D. You and me both. I'm not particularly worried about this correction. As we spoke about in yesterday's stream, we were highlighting that Casper hopefully, and we wanted to say likely, would hold 9 cents, provided we got no more so-called uncertainty or negative news. And the macro reports that came out today regarding unemployment was very, very bad, but actually also very good. The problem is the tariffs. The tariffs have caused problems today. That's why Casper is now currently valued at 8.6 cents, down 2.4% on the daily time frame. It did momentarily touch down at 8.3, which we can see this green area we drew out months back. Honestly, months back, and we can see Casper is trading very nicely within this zone right now. So it proves that these zones that we talk about here, they work. They do work, and we do cover zones in a lot more detail and a better rundown of technical analysis in the VIP group as well, if you want to check that out. But currently Casper is trading between this zone. If it loses this support here, it will come back down next to 8 cents, which I'm hoping Casper will hold strong, as 8 cents have been proven to be a very, very tough level of resistance and or support for Casper on numerous occasions here. So hopefully Casper can hold that. But again, it depends on Bitcoin. I've been hearing from some people that I trust, some other communities that I have been loosely following, that their area expertise, their people, if you will, their traders and whatnot, which we are also in agreement that we'll probably see Bitcoin correct down to maybe the 112k, worst case 108k down here. So worst case Bitcoin will come down here, but otherwise we'll likely see Bitcoin come down to this area down here before we then see it find, solidity, start consolidating again, and then start making that reversal going up as well. Of course, understandably the markets are correcting heavily because Bitcoin has been trading between this zone here of 120k to 116k for the past, 2-3 weeks, give or take? And now it's broken below that, quite cleanly as well. So as a result of that, investors are now panicking, thinking that maybe we've got the top in now and Tariffs going to send us a lot lower. Again, we'll have to wait and see what happens right now. One thing that we are aware of, which is, I guess, good and bad in a sense, is that the tariffs are temporary. Trump at any moment can decide to pause the tariffs or to extend the tariffs. He's done that with China. He's extended them another 90 days with Mexico. And he's also done a lot of other things as well, surprise things that has inevitably caused negative reaction in the market. We actually did make a post about that again in my VIP earlier today. We had a lot of updates today here covering what's happening in the market. So we were best prepared for what's happening, and we were aware the correction was possible. We were aware of it. So I'm not worried though. I'm definitely not. You're right, Double D. Happy live stream anniversary. Thank you very much, my man. I appreciate you very, very much, brother. The real PG, quick dump the bags. I mean, right now, yes, we are seeing a lot of dumping across the board right now. You know, Zebek's down 8%, down to 0.0477, which we were talking about it. Again, as you were here in yesterday's stream when you had a Packod who was asking about the potential zones. We were saying don't top blast this right now. A correction is definitely possible. And based on the zones, we were looking at potentially coming down to probably around here. Maybe there's 0.004445 around here. Potentially finding support at the zone it's at right now. Which again, depending on what's happened to Bitcoin the next couple of days, is definitely possible. Ethereum's down 4% right now, which is quite a lot for Ethereum. XRP is not doing too badly, but it's still currently being trading at $3. Casper 8.6, Sui $3.55, Save to 28 cents, Tau 347. Everything's coming down quite a bit today, which is unfortunate. And you've got to keep in mind as well, this is a Friday. When we go into the weekend, we may see a bit more stagnation, a bit, lack of investor sentiment still. Going into the new week, we'll likely see then a bigger reaction from the TradFi market. Or maybe a recovery. Again, we'll have to play it by ear and wait and see. You're always here in the space, good or bad. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate you, Mila. Thank you very much for the kind words. And yeah, you know me. I mean, I'm just one man. But I do, again, I think my enthusiasm for Casper, or just in crypto in general, it comes from the research that I've conducted. I have seen the level of adoption that we're seeing and starting to see come through for institutions. I see what they're talking about. I am very convinced that those who are struggling financially, I believe, at least myself, and friends that I have who are equally struggling financially, that crypto could be a gate out. Of course, it's very, very risky. It's very, very volatile, so always do your own research, be very, very careful. But I believe that crypto is that opportunity for us to, save ourselves from this financial burden we've been put a part of by these global elites who just completely crush us time and time again. And I think Casper is the best bet for that as well. And we'll see it come to fruition hopefully very soon. I think the next coming months are going to really, really prove that. Once Casper blows past, I think we'll see quite a lot of toying with Casper's price all the way up to when we do return to all-time highs this cycle, in my belief. Once we surpass that, I think honestly it could be sky's the limit. Just go absolutely bananas. Funny spot to be in. It's too late to sell, but you can't buy. Yeah, it is a very weird predicament. You're right, PG. And the way I perceive it at the same time is, while it does feel like an awkward predicament, I'd argue there's always opportunity to buy more. And I do also believe that this is not the top cycle indicator. We still have got so much to come through. And if you watched the video that I uploaded earlier today, you would see all those developments from SEC ETF approvals for other altcoins, Casper developments itself, the Clarity Act being passed, all that sort of stuff that will, and also the ISO 20022 migration from Swift and other FIs happening in November. There's so many more major catalysts to come through still that I think, again, this is just noise, just investor sentiment, FUD, and we'll see the markets recover as they tend to normally do later on. But again, I think we haven't had that altcoin rally yet. Look at Bitcoin dominance right now. It's still quite high. And it's actually running a little bit today again, 61.8%. It could still make that push to 70%, as I have believed it could do. Maybe it won't. Again, we'll have to wait and see. But Bitcoin dominance is still high. Until Bitcoin dominance comes down below 40% or below 50% even, the trend line first off, then below 50%, altcoin cycle won't fully be here. And there are many catalysts for altcoin cycles, mainly being the Clarity Act and the ETF filings. So this correction, while frustrating, and I'm sure definitely putting us in a funny spot, I'm still not worried. Like Didi said, I'm not worried either. But that being said, we'll get into more of the questions and stuff in a moment. Shank, welcome back. Corey, bro, you're doing very, very well. We'll get to all the questions in just a moment. Before we do, let's get into the content for today, and then I'll do a very small section of content, then we'll get into some more questions and go from here as well. So to start off with, why the markets are correcting, the FUD. The markets are currently in the perception that Trump is losing more and more credibility because the trade war is losing more and more credibility. Trump earlier today, seemingly just randomly, again, we haven't got the full story, so randomly, he decided to raise tariffs on Canada from 25 to 35%. This happened out of nowhere, seemingly. So if this is the case and Trump can, on a whim, increase tariffs on nations, then, where's the credibility and the kind of the structure behind these trade deals and these tariffs? There doesn't seem to be any. On top of this, he imposed reciprocal tariffs on Vietnam, Switzerland, South Africa, Taiwan, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Turkey, and Venezuela. Meanwhile, S&P 500 futures are down a mere 10 points, almost entirely due to Amazon's weak earnings results. In April, this headline would have sent the S&P 500 down 3% lower. So this is proving right now that trade war, this is kind of, again, a shock in a sense, while we are seeing, again, Trump kind of on a whim being able to just change these deals whenever he wants, which I don't think is great for investor sentiment at all. Tariffs do definitely cause fun in the markets, but at the same time, we have to remember again, at Liberation Day, this sort of headline would have definitely sent the S&P 500 tanking. 3% is a lot for the stock market. But now it's only a mere 10 points, which is 0.1% basically. It's very, very small. So trade war is not affecting the market as drastically, which could be perceived as a good thing. But it's just still, it's not affecting it as badly, but it's still causing the higher level of uncertainty. It's just investors are kind of like, okay, we'll just leave it there. But that's not the only problem here. We do have also had news, apparently, that Trump is deploying 2 nuclear submarines near Russia in response to Medvedev's, I definitely butchered that, I apologize, but his provocative statement. So apparently Trump is now, I guess, showing his hand a little bit. And if this is true, again, this is just based on what I'm seeing here. If this is true, of course, that is a very, very bad thing. Russia has been at war for Ukraine for a long, long time. War's always very, very bad for financial markets. If this is true, then you'll see oil start to shoot up massively. Right now, it's still staying below $70 a barrel, which is good. But if war ends up unfolding, risk markets will go collapsing down very, very quickly. And here's the other problem as well, while the markets are also in a correction, not just due to trade war and tariffs, not just due to this apparent nuclear submarine potential scaring as well. We saw yesterday, which I did already highlight to my VIPs as well. Again, you want to find out ahead of time, in real time, check out the VIP, linked up in the description, 7-day free trial, the whole lot. We found out yesterday the PCE inflation data, the Fed preferred metric of inflation, which came in above expectations, meaning that we're currently seeing inflation start to rally again, which is not good because inflation is going higher and higher. That means the Fed is less likely going to want to start cutting rates, because cutting rates also causes inflation. And we've got to keep in mind as well, this is currently the PCE before tariffs have been reinstated. We'll find out when how tariffs affect inflation and the economy in the September report. Well, the September report for August. So we'll have to wait and see how inflation handles this right now. But it's not doing so good if PCE is starting to steadily rise. True inflation is staying around 2% right now, but PCE, which is the Fed preferred inflation metric, is starting to rally higher and higher. So that means there's the sentiment that's a less likely chance of us seeing rate cuts. But then here's the bigger problem, right? Inflation's starting to rally apparently, so the Fed's not going to cut rates. That's the belief. Not that we need rate cuts, and I explained that in a lot more detail to my VIPs why actually I think rate cuts now could potentially be a bad thing. If you want to find out why I'm doing that, again, check out the VIP. But today, we had the job reports, which came in massively below expectations, meaning the economy is stagnating and it's happening faster. It's accelerating. So inflation's rising and jobs aren't coming out as frequently. There are 2 scenarios after today's data. The US labour market is entering a recession, causing this investor FUD, or something is seriously wrong with the data we are seeing. The unemployment rate is rising as 258,000 jobs have seemingly disappeared from the data in 2 months. That's more than the entire population of Scottsdale, Arizona in a single data revision. This comes just 24 hours after the Fed said we have a strong labour market. The Fed said we've got a strong labour market, and then suddenly out of nowhere, the market is not just weak, but exceptionally weak. They're expecting, we had 14,000 jobs apparently, which, I mean, I don't remember it being that low, truth be told. Apparently 14,000 jobs, it was expected to be 106,000, and it came to 73. So we apparently have a really, really weak job market. So something's going on here. Somebody is seemingly, twisting the data of some regard, whether it's twisting it to make it look better than it actually is or making it worse than it actually is. Again, we don't know. But all we know right now is inflation is rising and apparently jobs are stagnating. So we don't know where we're at. And of course, once more, remember, FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt. That is what drives markets. Right now, the FUD is rallying up higher and higher. We don't know where markets are going. That's why gold's up 1.8% today. Gold's going up massive today because gold is the preferred safe haven, during times of uncertainty. We're currently in a stage right now where the markets are uncertain, inflation's going up, jobs are apparently going to, all kaput, and gold's rallying. Because this job report was so weak, though, it does increase the possibility of us seeing rate cuts, which is why it's good and bad. Because it's bad because, again, job market's stagnating, it's going towards a recession, which is really, really bad. Of course, we don't want that. But if it's getting so terribly bad, the Fed, despite the rising inflation, will be forced to step in to start printing money, to start lowering rates, to incentivize, more money flowing into the economy while the job market is struggling so badly. It's the uncertainty right now that's causing a lot of disarray. And this is why the markets are down today. While Bitcoin is currently trading at $113,582, Ethereum's at 3.552, and everything's coming down quite a lot. Again, I do think, as it stands right now, based on these three main metrics, we had this was meant to be a big week for crypto, and it was a big week for crypto. Big doesn't necessarily mean good, but important. We had the FOMC meeting on Wednesday with no rate cuts, which would be expected, and we had a very hawkish stance from the Fed. That let us know where we were standing. Then we had the PCE, which came in supporting the Fed's hawkish stance, which ended up making more corrections yesterday. And then today, tariffs being reinstated, plus very, very negative job report data that actually is meant to re-incentivize the Fed to cut rates, but also then suggesting that something's going wrong here. Data's getting missed out somewhere. Again, 58,000 jobs have just seemingly disappeared from the past 2 months' data. If I quickly check out my VIP and just go through the updates that I gave regarding job report data as well, I'm pretty sure I gave an update last month. And apparently the unemployment claims, if that's the right one I'm looking at. No, I'm looking at the non-farm payroll. Non-farm payroll was, apparently non-farm payroll as of, July. So July, non-farm payroll apparently, if you can see on the screen as I'm highlighting here, was at 147k, which went up from the last month of 144k. It went from 144k, expected to go down, but it went up. But then you look at the report right now, it's saying that last month actually was at 14k. So they've just missed out a whole 4 from that somehow. They've taken the 4 away from the end of it. So I don't know where these jobs are disappearing to. Something's going on here, and that's not doing good for financial markets at all. People don't like seeing uncertainty. They don't like not knowing what's going on. That's why the markets are dumping today. Now, I'm sure we'll have some clarity in the coming weeks, months or so. I think September is still going to be a very big month for us all regardless. August may be a bit of a choppy one. We have to play it by ear and wait and see. I am under the impression right now, and I do believe and hope that Bitcoin will hopefully hold at 108k. If it does come down further, it might even reverse over the weekend. Again, we have to wait and see and play it by ear. But right now, Casper, for me, there's 2 scenarios that I'm currently looking at for Casper in the worst case. We come down to 8 cents that we hold here, which I'm hoping for. And if we do that, then I'll probably put some more then. In the ideal, start reversing and going up. Or we lose 8 cents because the markets are doing so terribly and alts are bleeding again. And then Casper, for me, hopefully and ideally will have to manage to reverse above this 6 cent zone here. So ideally 6.5 cents. This green this green box here. If it does that, then I would be okay, because that means we're still forming that pattern of higher highs and higher lows. If it goes below here, then the pattern structure for Casper for the most part is broken. If it holds at 5 cents, this 5.5 cents again, it means that Casper has found the so-called absolute bottom at 5.5 cents, like we believe it has done. But we haven't got a definitive structure for Casper. Right now, I think the structure is still forming this upward trend of higher highs. Well, we got higher lows here, then we got a high there. I think this is just currently going through this ABC correction, so we should be seeing the higher coming up here like we saw here. I think we're currently in this current trend right now. We'll have to wait and see how it pans over the next few days. I do think that going into the end of August, we'll see more volatility in Casper again due to smart contracts coming out. We saw, as I mentioned in my video, a 20% candle, a 20% bullish move with the announcement of Casper smart contracts. That's the announcement. So with the actual launch happening, we'll likely see a move with quite a lot of volatility, logically speaking at least. And we've been seeing a lot of, surging in activity right now. Casper network activity is surging with active addresses nearing 500,000 and transactions spiking well over 1.1 million. We've not seen that sort of volume in a very, very long time. With the first launch of KYC20, which was quite a poor launch, we saw 1.5 million, which surpassed what Ethereum does on a daily basis and what Litecoin has ever done before. We're seeing 1.1 million right now. For what reason? Aside from testing for smart contracts, in my belief. This uptick may indicate testing of upcoming dApps ahead of Casper smart contract launch, hinting at early ecosystem growth. And I think that's a possibility as well. We're seeing it grow more and more. So smart contracts, again, I think we believe is going to be very, very big. Very, very big indeed. Now, I'll get to all the Casper updates and the actual posts of, we got this stuff here I'll get to. Well, that's just something else, actually. I don't need to cover that, actually. I've already made a comment about that. It's just they're seeing more investors leaving the UK because UK sucks. But against this bullish stuff here as well, regarding the golden age of crypto and the Casper updates in a short moment, ultimately why I'm still bullish for the market, despite the market sentiment. But before I do, let's get into some of the questions first and foremost. 1 year ago, today we're at all-time high. Yeah, I know the video I made earlier today did cover that. The first time I started streaming, August 1st, we're at all-time highs. It's been a long road since then. Very long road. Very, very long indeed. We've seen a lot of development since then. We saw the yen carry trade that caused this 40% crash here. Yen carry trade caused that. We saw then KRC20s come out, which I, for the most part, and I said it in the video, full disclaimer, I don't hate KRC20s. I don't think the memes are bad. They did cause a lot of liquidity to suck out of Casper, namely here. That big pullback here from September 14th or so. Down here, we had a breakout, I think, of war between Iran and Israel around that time again, and also the KRC20s. A lot of these memes are really, really high. Like Natural 1.73 mil market cap is now at 13.7. You saw a lot of the liquidity going into the memes, and seemingly therefore people changing up their Casper for the memes. That was the reason why you saw this big kind of correction here. One of the reasons for it. But I still don't hate KRC20s, not all of them at least. There are projects in here like Nacho and others as well that I have mentioned in the past, and I'm sure there are more that I haven't mentioned as well who are actually trying to build something real. And I think they will see a lot of market share when Casper starts rallying in value. It has though affected the price of Casper, no doubt about that. Now, if we didn't have them, would Casper be at past all-time highs right now? We don't know. That's hypothetical. We can't say that for sure. But either way, we had yen carry trade causing 40% correction. We had the KRC20s, which I would argue is the reason why we saw this 40% correction here as well. We saw this rally up here following Kraken listing for Casper, 10 BPS announcement for the timeline for it. I mentioned it all in the video. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head right now. We had ETPs from Valor Funds launched around that time as well. We had announcements regarding stablecoins, talking stablecoins by the likes of the KEF team. We had Trump winning the election and Gary Gensler resigning, which was huge. And there were many, many more significant developments happened around that time, causing Casper to rally from 10 to 19 cents. And then we saw the continual pullback following Trump's meme coin, or the Trump coin that liquidated a lot of the billions of dollars from the altcoin market, and just kind of sent us in a spiral from there. And then we know what happened since then. Again, if you want to find out everything in a much more structured format where I lay it out clearly, I made a video about it earlier today, talking about the history of the last year, what we've seen for Casper, and also what's coming through soon, which, again, to remind you, which I mentioned in the video, while understandably people are uncertain right now with Casper. Go back and look at other projects that have, notorious projects, your Ethereums, your Solanas, your Litecoins, your AVAX, whatever it may be, and you look at what they did in the last leg of the bull cycle. Solana, namely, being the most main one I can highlight here. Solana, in the last cycle, had a little bit of a rally, then came back down, and then it ended up trading around, 7 billion as of the 31st of July, which was yesterday, 4 years ago. And then it went on a continual rally up to 70 odd billion, 70, 80 billion, give or take, in the span of 3-4 months. That's insane. So you saw a 10x in 3-4 months. I mean, look at AVAX, which went from, similarly, it went from 1.5 billion, give or take, around a similar time frame, around the end of July, going into August. Look around here. That's 2 billion. You have 1.6 billion here. Then you saw a peak at 30. That's a 15x there. So that's not me trying to say Casper's going to do the same thing necessarily. It's me trying to highlight to you once more that, and as I said in the video, 80% of the big gains made in crypto are firstly made in the bear cycle when you just continue stacking more and more and more, which we've been doing with Casper for a long, long time, and also then made in the last 20% of the bull cycle. During this last rally, this last leg up, that's when all the money comes through. And that's when also people lose out because they try to time the top. You should try and take profits, honestly. Not financial advice, of course. But it's trying to highlight once more that, yes, understandably, people might be concerned right now. Casper is currently got number 41 on CMC. Still haven't seen big tier 1 listing like Binance come through yet. Haven't seen Coinbase come through yet. Haven't had a Grayscale list Casper, no ETF filings yet. It's still, no stable coins on Casper just yet. Smart contracts aren't here just yet. There's still a lot more to come. And it might be still will come this cycle. Got 116 24-hour trading volume. That's impressive for not having any Binance or Coinbase. And when they come through, that'll be a lot higher. Gates still dominating. BitGet at 9.6. Mexi at 8.34. Bybit at 8.24. So we're seeing the volume for the bigger tier ones holding strong, just short of 10%, which is not bad. Need to go higher still, but again, I'm not personally too worried. Again, it's been a long year. I don't disagree with that, and it's been frustrating for a lot of people as well. I don't disagree with that either. But I do also, thanks to the information that I provide in these streams daily, my experience with crypto in the last cycle, and also the information I provide to my VIPs ahead of time in this community here, where we cover so much information in here, a lot of the alpha information from institutional documents of what these institutions like KPMG, Deloitte, JP Morgan, Bank of America, they've got documents from major institutions constantly just flushed through there. There's so much information in there which tell us what they're looking at, namely AI, Gen AI, crypto, blockchain, yield farming, whatever it may be, and also the timeline they have for it, which is not in the next 2-3 months. I mean, it's going to take off in the next 2-3 months, but it's not, get rich quick. It is laying on the foundation for years to come. I keep saying it. The so-called great wealth transfer, the term that's been thrown around quite a lot for this cycle, doesn't mean you have to make your money this cycle. It means you have to be in crypto this cycle. You've got to be in it now as institutions starting to flood in, and then namely just follow them and then ride the wave up with them. That's what it means. That's how it works. And that's what we're doing here in the VIP. You want to find out more information alongside the private live stream that we do every single week. Trade alerts, we've been cooking with trades as well, seeing a 10x and 7x with some meme coins, and equally some big gains with some other leverage trading as well, thanks to BYDFI as well, and our trader in there as well. Educational videos, all that sort of stuff available in the VIP. Link down below in the description. 7-day free trial, or you can get a 1-month free trial if you sign up to the affiliate link to BYDFI. Then message me on Discord, and I help you get a 1-month free trial to the Coin Factory executives. But that being said, I'm not worried about Casper. I don't think we have reason to be just yet. We have got its biggest developments that will generate a lot more. Like, with respect, I'd argue we saw a lot more bullish in like clustered catalyst with Casper in 2024 here than we have seen here so far. Like in this section right now, we have seen the 10 BPS listing for Casper, or not listing, the migration for Casper, 10 BPS migration, rustic migration. We saw Binance mining pool rewards, and Binance leaked some stuff about Casper at the beginning of the year. Other than that, what will we seeing for 2025 for Casper particularly? Testnets for smart contracts, true, remember that. Other than that, what have we actually seen for Casper? You know, we've seen some big things, of course. I'm not discrediting that. We have some big announcements, but I'd argue a lot of the big cluster developments, Kraken listing, 10BS first announcement, KRC 20s, KRI first launch, all that other stuff, you know, ETPs, all that sort of stuff happened in 2024. This has been a year of excruciating building for Casper, and I think it's going to pay off soon. My personal belief, of course, not financial advice. What's up, QC? What's up, Stack Bro? You're doing very, very well. Not gonna lie, man, I'm feeling bearish on the market and Powell, US. Still no US rate cuts, and it doesn't look like we'll get one this year at all. If rate get cut early, USD will crash. I understand the sentiment, honestly, brother, and it's a shame you're not part of the VIP, because this is not uncommon. If we take a look at the market right now, understand that all markets across the board, the stock market, the gold market, the crypto market for the most part, pretty much all major financial markets, they are nearing all-time highs right now without rate cuts, which is very, very good news. The thing is, the Fed, historically, as proven already, are very, very late with rate cuts, all the time. So, as I explained to my VIPs, and if you want to find out in more detail what I mean by that and how it lays out, there's a possibility now that the rate cuts won't be a bullish thing anymore, but more so that market top indicator, and therefore causing the bear cycle to start. I, at this point, would prefer rate cuts taking longer to come through, because it's been so long now. We've had such a long time since rate cuts. I don't think we need them. I think as long as the FUD from trade war and tariffs dissipates, I think we'll be okay. And we'll see, again, we haven't even seen that altcoin cycle just yet. This is typically when people get a lot of bear. I think it's just a bear trap once again, truth be told. No, Casper to 0.777. I mean, that's also the bottom of that support here as well. So it's also, you know, not out of the question to see Casper come down to here as well. Not finding support at 8 around here as well, a little bit below that level of that line that I drew out. Possible as well. We have to play it by ear and wait and see. It depends on Bitcoin right now. I mean, Casper's starting to, I guess, regain a little bit today with traders, but the buyer's trying to keep it up right now. But again, we might just see a continual bleed out until the market finds stability. Welcome, Dennis. Bro, doing very, very well. What month do you predict Casper's market cycle top? I'm a long-term investor, starting to get impatient. It's a good question. You have to play it by ear because no one's got a crystal ball ultimately, and I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't say for sure. I can highlight that 31st of August, smart contracts come out. That'll be huge, in my belief. You might see stablecoins launching. You might see other blockchains getting on Casper as well as a result of that. You're seeing other developments happening right now. You're seeing the volume and transaction taking place right now with testing right now. So it could be big when the mainnet actually happens. You have the KRI and equally IGRA launching their stuff in Q4. So the cycle top for Casper, while I'm not completely ruling out the possibility of us still going into 2026, it depends. I would like to believe it will be happening in Q4, maybe late Q4, maybe December time. But we have to play it by ear and wait and see. Nobody knows. Because Casper big developments are happening late. Casper may end up having, you might see the market start correcting in September or October, and Casper then starting a little miniature rally going towards December instead, because its big developments come out late. You never know. It's happened in crypto before. It's not impossible. So we have to wait and see. It could be topped. Right now, the indicators that I'm looking at does not suggest we're topped yet. Unless we see a black swan or some form of war outbreak, the catalysts that I'm looking at right now do not suggest that we're currently topped. Just from what I've seen. Again, I could be very well be wrong. I have not got a crystal ball, but from what I've seen right now, I don't think we have topped just yet. And if we have, well, then it's to take profits ultimately, or you prepare for the next bear cycle. But I don't think we've topped just yet. I still am very, very confident, again, based on the information that I've looked at, the metrics that I've looked at, that we have still got we've still got a few more months in us, at the very least. Look at CAS Bitcoin. It's not good. I mean, I can. Yeah, I mean, it's not doing very well right now. I can see that much. But I don't exactly see what benefit this brings from looking at this. Casper was once above it, now it's below it. It's been doing bad for a while all the money, all the money, mainly from institutions, been coming through to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a massive asset. It's been around for 17 whatever years, and you've had institutional adoption in it for the first time. Of course, it's doing exceptionally well. Casper has what in comparison? Hasn't got Binance or Coinbase like Bitcoin does. Hasn't got ETFs like Bitcoin does. Hasn't got BlackRock in their back pocket. Bitcoin has outperformed the whole market. There's a reason why Bitcoin dominance is still so high. Bitcoin outperformed the whole market. The whole market. Bitcoin compared to everything is going to be doing better right now. Not going to stay that way necessarily. It may change, but we are still, again, we have not seen that. Whilst Bitcoin dominance is still above the trend line and above 50, alts aren't necessarily going to pump yet. We have not had the altcoin cycle just yet. Again, this is what happened last time, the last cycle. Bitcoin dominance topped in January 2021. And then you saw it come, which is, beginning of the year. You saw the first market top, where it went to 62k around here. Then you saw Bitcoin crash with the Black Swan event. And then altcoins started to make a bit more of a rally. It came to 40% down here. Assets like Solana didn't pump till here. So you had 3 months down here when Bitcoin finally started running again around this peak here. But because its dominance was so low, altcoins went parabolic around here. You've got Bitcoin dominance still so high right now. When Bitcoin dominance is still so high right now, I have no reason to be worried about altcoins just yet. Altcoins have not had their time just yet. And equally, you should look at the M2 money supply. We haven't had rate cuts just yet, sure, but look at the global economy. This is an indicator of the global economy right now. So you line it up, it suggests right now, again, we're not going up right now due to macro uncertainties and fundamentals and tariffs and whatnot, but Bitcoin, by these metrics, should still be hopefully reaching the 130, 150k zones. We still have, in my belief, it's again not financial advice, but based on the metrics that I'm looking at, and this is just some of them, we've still got a few more months left of the cycle, at the very least. September for me is going to be a big month. Historically speaking, it has been. But you've got Clarity Act being decided on them. You have Casper Smart Contract out by then as well, and you'll likely have some SEC stuff as well, like ETF launches happening around then as well. There's something else happening in September as well. It's leaving me right now. I can't remember. Something else big happening in September as well. But September's going to be a big month in my belief. Very big. MMJ says it often, and I saw the ultimate question just for fun or nothing. I think I missed something. Where am I out of questions right now? Mr. Miles is here. I see you, brother. Welcome. What's up, Gazzy? Bam, Casper. Indeed. Welcome back, bro. Where are the buyers of smart contract news? Tough to say. I mean, I don't think anybody's really looking too heavily right now. But I'm sure they'll come through and the Casper ecosystem starts to really flourish again. That much I can say for sure. What's up, Kryptoni, bro? Welcome back, brother. You're doing very well, my man. Also, plus capital 20 cents a year ago today. I really think Bitcoin has topped and selling pressure is too high on alts for fatigue from the market. Institutional involvement has caused this, I believe. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. Again, anything's possible. So I'm not discrediting your opinion or belief at all. But I still believe that altcoin has not had a chance to rally. We've not seen that at all. And again, you could be right. Maybe institutions forced altcoins to not rally. And therefore you see it go into a bear cycle. And then you'll see the building in the bear cycle, institutions getting more involved. And then you'll see a massive explosion early on. Again, it's tough to say. But I still think that we have Bitcoin dominance still around 60%. Alts not had their time just yet. Once it goes down below 50%, although a little bit of a rally. We haven't got ETF filings for altcoins yet either. There's still other catalysts to take into account. And yes, Casper was 20 cents a year ago. It's been a long year. It's been a tough year, gone through many hardships, many big developments as well. Casper's a much more complete project now than it was a year ago. I'm happier with Casper now than I was a year ago as a project. The price, no, of course not. But if myself, and I'm sure many of us here as well, have continued to DCA into Casper to lower our average of Casper. So, where some of us might got in at 20 cents up here, some of us might also have lowered the average down to maybe 10 cents now. Or maybe even 15. Even then you'll be less of a loss right now. Again, this is of the premise that Casper does, start rallying again, which I still think it will do. I still do wholeheartedly believe that Casper's going to shock a lot of people. I think crypto's still got more time. Again, I could be wrong. But all the metrics that I'm looking at, all the people that I'm following, all the people that I know, and the information that I'm hearing from institutions and whatnot, the research that I'm conducting, suggests we still got more time ahead of us. I'll talk about it in the VIP. Again, if you want to find out, grow your conviction, learn more, while also actively trying to make gains through trading and whatnot as well, VIP is there. You can join for free for a week or for a month if you sign up to BYDFI. If you do sign up to BYDFI through my affiliate link, message me on Discord and I'll get you set up for a 1 month free trial as well. I'm unshakable in my conviction of Casper. As you should be. As you should be. Tariffs have been working great everywhere outside of Canada. I mean, I can't attest to that because I'm not. I know there are tariff deals between the UK and US, but I have not personally witnessed or felt the effects of tariffs, so I cannot attest to it. I can see how they've affected the markets, and it's been tough. QC, how relevant is the Genius Act to Casper and other similar alts, since it won't go into full effect to 2027? I'm assuming Clarity Act will be even later. It's a great question. Ultimately, it sets the foundation for institutional adoption. So what I mean by that is the Genius Act has, been admitted into law on July 18th, so about 2 weeks ago now. And while the full, Genius Act, the full regulation, full laws won't come into effect for years, till 2027, similarly to the Clarity Act as well, it means that institutions now, with clear regulatory guidelines and policies, can now set themselves accordingly, positioning themselves to get into the market when the laws are implemented. You're seeing this happening right now. So we can get to the next section of the end of this stream actually. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the US has entered the golden age of crypto. And we got it starting here. In a landmark speech at the American First Policy Institute, SEC Chair Paul Atkins unveiled Project Crypto, a sweeping commission-wide initiative to modernize securities regulations of on-chain markets, or for on-chain markets, which he says aligns with President Trump's goal to make America the crypto capital of the world. So it talks about the fact that they're going to draft new rules of crypto asset distribution, clarify which tokens are securities and commodities, develop tailored disclosures and safe harbors. It goes on here as well, talking about support for tokenization of stocks and bonds and other assets. Hitting back at the Operation Choke Point 2.0 and SAB 121 that hindered crypto. Now you have the ability to self-custody now, which is also great. Crypto plus security, a super app's going to be coming out. Regulatory frameworks to allow a single platform to offer crypto and security trading, staking, lending, and more. DeFi and on-chain, like all this stuff is a very, very big deal, very, very bullish. And it's these laws that are being passed that allows this to happen. The Genius Act allows stablecoin developments and, regulatory guidelines for stablecoins for banks to either custody and issue them or to launch their own ones. Although launching their own ones is a bit of a fine line because that could get you close to being a CBDC, which is illegal, anti-CBDC Act. But you've got the likes of JP Morgan who are, I have not got it preloaded here actually, but JP Morgan, let me see if I can load up JPMD. Dr. Hyperwork here again posted this just a few days ago, 2 days ago even, which I covered as well. JP Morgan launched a JPMD deposit token on Coinbase's base platform. This is literally something that has happened because of the Genius Act. JP Morgan, the biggest bank in the world, has now started to actually... And remember, if you've been following crypto for as long as we've been doing streaming, Jamie Dimon hated crypto. The CEO of JP Morgan hated it, saying it was used for, money launderers and illegal criminals and whatnot. He hated Bitcoin, he hated crypto, and now his company are launching crypto services. Now, of course, he could be saying that just trying to deter you the whole time, but either way, the Genius Act has allowed the biggest driver of anti-crypto, the anti-crypto army to now get involved in the space. You're going to see, and you've seen the companies like Bank of America talking about how a lot of institutions are going to start ramping up their adoption into crypto off the back of this bill being passed. It won't come into full effect for years, but it starts the snowball effect of everything starting to build up, preparing for the bill to go live or to be implemented. Same with the Clarity Act. The Clarity Act will give more guidelines. Again, this is kind of what this talks about here. The Clarity Act will help clarify this. So it's a great question, Stack, honestly, and it's very relevant. And how it's going to affect other alts similar to Kaspa and Kepler as well, because it will bring more investor sentiment and confidence into the market from institutions. Meaning you'll see more liquidity coming into this market thanks to institutional adoption, more retail getting involved because of clearer regulatory guidance and therefore more trust, bringing more money into the market, sending Casper and other cryptos higher as well. That's the kind of premise for why. We've got this as well. This week, the SEC quietly made a monumental decision approving in-kind creation and redemptions of both Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs. This policy change, which took effect 9:39 p.m. CEST on July 29th, is a foundational step that could dramatically accelerate global crypto adoption. So it addresses the key barriers to institutional and mainstream investments. Explosive liquidity can come in now, enhanced tax efficiency, increased institutional access, and mainstream legitimacy. It's a very, very big deal what we're seeing right now. We're going towards now the golden age of crypto. The great wealth transfer does not mean you make your money the cycle and you retire. You can. I'm not saying you can't. But it doesn't solely mean that. It means you are positioned accordingly, knowing what's coming, which, again, we covered a lot more detail, so we know what's coming in the VIP, and then you ride the wave up with institutional adoption coming through in full force. Thanks to the regulatory policies coming in as well. That's what it means. Welcome, Falco, man. You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back to the stream, my man. Labour market data, 42%. Yeah, I know. Tough indeed. Welcome back, Lau, bro. You're doing very well. And thank you very much once again for your generosity, Lau. Absolute legend. Not just for one, gave me the KNS domain for Quick Crypto, also Coin Factory as well. So massive respect to you. Honestly, you are a legend, brother. Thank you very much for that. So I have now 2 KNS names, both from the same wallet right now. I might give one to one of my other wallets. But yeah, insane, brothers. Thank you very much for that. You're a legend. And Mr. Miles, first. Don't know how you've done double and triple first. You're a legend. You're unique. Leave it at that. Where's my mod status? You promised me mod in August. I said I'd talk to you in August, so I will start talking to you soon enough. I'm actually going to be somewhat away this weekend. I'll still be doing streams every single day this weekend, but I'm not going to be as absent. I'm going to be a bit absent this weekend, so it'll probably happen sometime next week. And then I've got a wedding. I've then got a wedding to go to on the Friday. Oh my gosh. I'm so busy. I don't like it. I like just sitting behind my desk and talking crypto. Yeah, we've got important stuff to look out for this month as well. CPI on August 12th, PPI on August 14th, FMC minutes August 2nd, and then durable goods on 26th. We've got a big macro stuff to look out for this week as well. Did you see today's interview with Ludwig? Yes, I did. He's still saying $2 to $5 capitalist bull run. I didn't get to that part of the interview. I've got it loaded up here. I wanted to talk about this in a moment. Now, is that still possible? I mean, you're therefore looking at a $52 billion to a $130 billion market cap. It's not improbable. It sounds ridiculous considering we're currently at a 2.5 bill market cap for Casper right now. It sounds ridiculous to say 2.5 bill going to a 52 bill, but I don't think it's that ridiculous. Honestly, I don't. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's not guaranteeing it's going to happen, but it doesn't sound too ridiculous. A 53 bill market cap. It's not not unheard of. AVAX made 30. Solana made 70. Cardano made 100. Casper is got a lot of catalyst to come out. If it gets Binance and Coinbase, or even just Binance, and then you get the institutional adoption through the KRI, then yes, I think it's possible. And I'm actually going to talk about this video in a moment as well, because one part I want to highlight, shout out to Tony, who wanted to highlight once more why you've seen a lot of hash rate falling off for Casper recently, and it's not a cause for concern. Ludwig highlights why in this interview here. We'll get into it in a moment though. Before I do, let's get into some more of the Casper updates as well. So we already talked about the growth right now, which is happening quicker and quicker, which is great stuff. And now we've got big stuff coming through as well. Zealous highlights here. They are currently working with DAGScan XYZ. So you can now explore all Zealous swap tokens and pools on the DAGScan block explorer. You dive into token price history, market caps and total supply, pool analytics and historical performance. And you can see, here, I haven't looked too deep into this, but it looks very cool. And it's great to have this sort of stuff here, kind of like Etherscan basically, DAGScan here, or Etherscan. With Casper Layer 2s growing fast, now there's a way to explore it all. Here's what's new on DAGScan. You can see what dApps are live or in testing, verify and track platform volume, pools and tokens. Zealous Swap is now fully integrated with many more Layer 2 dApps on the way. Whether you're a builder or an enthusiast, this is your one-stop shop for everything Layer 2s. Token page view, token supply, import metrics, current tokens verified by Zealous, sort and search for real-time on-chain data, transparency with discovery. There's a lot more coming. This I think is very big. It's one of those kind of quality of life things that I think is just going to make... It's such a small thing that you don't really think about, but it's so big. quality of life things I actually think are the most important part to an ecosystem. You can have your insane apps and your decks and whatnot, all really, really cool, but the small quality of life thing, the little UI changes, all that sort of stuff, I think are arguably the biggest updates you can make, honestly. We've got updates here from Alex again, who's been doing this sort of new Twitter X thing, but for Casper instead. He implemented a new key feature for this VROM, this new X Twitter account thing, which is a vibrant cyberpunk theme you can see on screen right now. So you've got the typical black screen, the typical white screen, black screen here. You have a white screen there as well. At some point, it's not sure. Yeah, white screen here. Sorry for the flashbang. And then you've got the cyberpunk theme here as well, which is cool. Again, quality of life thing, I think it's a very, very cool, unique feature. Also integrated dynamic transactions and mount calculations with optionally customizable user values. So I'm looking forward to seeing more and more coming. Honestly, Alex is cooking right now. And then we got here from Captain Sats, which I think is also very important. What we have seen and what is being built in Casper right now. And the list is extensive. Cassia messaging. You've got this current VROM being built right now. And automated market maker DEX on Casper being seller swaps. You've got Casper.com, another DEX coming to Casper, DeFi Hub. You've got Casper Finance or KFC. Also building right now. Uniswap V3. You've got Fervent Finance, a lending and borrowing protocol, which you have got platforms like Casper.com that can do lending and borrowing apparently, but you've got other stuff coming here as well. This portion of the protocol revenue flows to Zeal, so this is connected to Zeal as well. You've got CSwap. You have Proof of Works Casper, on-chain Casper platform for creators and builders to sell digital assets like 3D models, music, games, items, UI kits, templates, and more. So a marketplace, kind of like Steam Marketplace, but for selling stuff for Casper, which I think is also very cool. You've got Casino on Casper. Now, I'm not too sure about this. I think actually it might not be going through anymore. I'm not sure who's building it. I think it's something to do with Casperbot, and Casperbot are not to be trusted, which have already been publicized as well, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've put information in the Discord server already about Casperbot, and it's been publicized already that they are, not to be trusted, basically. You've got KNS Doname, which, again, thanks you, Lau, for giving me my ones. You've got prediction markets being built out, Propify. You've got Moonbound, connections to Zealous as well. Olive Chain for the KRI. KMIF for KRI. You've got the Pilot, Cast Union, KRI. You've got Warp Core. You've got Gigawatt. You've got ZTEX. You've got Casway. You've got all this stuff right now being built with Casper through KRI, through the community developers as well. Like, so much is being built right now, all over the place. Cas Coffee, one of the new ones as well, been coming up as well. And the list goes on. Look how I'm still scrolling. Now, I'm not sure these things are still being built, all of them, and even them, I know for a fact, thanks to Casper.door, that there are dApps and stuff and being built on Casplex that have not got any marketing. So it's actually probably more than we realise. I'm not sure all of these are still working or still cooking right now, but there's more than we know that's being built right now. There's so much being built. It's actually insane. And it keeps going on. Look at all this. It's more than we realise what's being built with Casper right now. More than we realise. This is why I'm bullish on the project right now. And those who are worried about the hash rate, which I don't understand is probably a concern, listen closely here to Christian Ludwig in this interview of Ankit. Shout out to Ankit once again from XXIM, who talks about the mining here and ultimately why he's not worried about it at all.
At one point, we had about 1.5% of the net hash rate, but now it's something like 0.01%.
I see. Yeah.
And that gives you an idea. That gives you an idea of what happened, right?
No, it's exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Of how there was overinvestment into mining.
Yeah.
That caught everyone off guard alongside the macroeconomic risk asset depression.
Yeah. And now miners had to turn off all the mining rigs or, equipments they bought.
Yeah. It wasn't a depression. It was a brief recession for risk assets.
No, I wouldn't call it a depression. I think that's longer, but yeah, sort of a brief recession.
Maybe you were depressed while it happened, but it's definitely
that's true. That is true. I guess, did you have to turn off some of the miners to retain profitability, or like how are you feeling now, given it's obviously the price is suppressed from where it was?
Yeah, even us having good power and a little bit of economy of scale, we had to turn off our KS3s 2 months ago, just waiting to turn them back on. Because no matter which way you spin it, it's never a good idea to operate miners at a net loss, because you can take
Yeah.
the money you would be losing to spot purchase the asset.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly it. And I mean, we've seen that through the hash rate, right? It was 1.4, I think, exahash. Now it's sitting around 700.
Yeah, people don't understand how dramatic that is, because at one point for a while it was more hash rate than Litecoin or Doge. It was the second highest hash rate behind Bitcoin. And to go from a $0 market cap brand new coin, and it was 2 years before that happened, in a 2-year period be the second highest hash rate coin in the world. Like, of course that's over dramatic. And kudos to Jonathan for actually making the emission schedule rapid, because if he had not, then these large miners, such as myself, like, I would be in a better spot if the emissions schedule wasn't rapid, or Marathon or Bitmain with their massive self-mining and Ice River with their massive self-mining. We would just be making bank and dumping on people. But that's not the case. All of us are in pain right now. We're not. The rapid emission schedule is not a good thing, not a great thing for us. It's a really good thing for the health of the project, a really good thing for holders of the asset. And
so, yes, the rapid emission schedules, which is a key feature to Casper, is a crucial element that benefits solo mining more so. Christian Ludwig is one of the big miners for Casper. You got Marathon who are mining Casper. You got all these massive companies, iForever, who are mining Casper. The slow emission schedules benefits them more so. They can dump on you. But the rapid emission schedules, while they can still mine it, of course, and make profit from it, it's harder for them. It benefits solo mining over liquidity pool mining. That's what the rapid emission schedule is benefit for. So Ludwig's not worried about it. He's turned it off temporarily to then turn it back on soon enough, which is fine. And I think that when the price of Casper comes back up and you see smart contracts launching, look at these transactions happening right now. When smart contracts come out, we'll hopefully see these sort of volume, maybe not to the same level, because it's mostly just testing stuff happening right now, but you'll see likely a lot more volume on Casper, continuous volume and trading and whatnot, that the miners will be able to mine and make profit from that as well, bringing more demand back to Casper, and therefore making the price go up again. Ludwig said it's actually months and months and months back that he thought Casper rallied to 20 cents. It rallied too high too early. If Casper had done what it was quote unquote meant to do, which maybe go up to like 15 cents, whatever it may have done, kind of a gradual rally upwards, people would not be worried right now. People would be very, very bullish on Casper, seeing a continual rally in value where it's 46,000% higher than its initial launch. That's insane. No crypto's done that. But because it rallies so high so quickly, because of all the overhype with mining and whatnot, and, being shilled on YouTube, which of course I was partly responsible for that, I guess. And you then had the moon boys as well, like, I'm not going to name them, people know who they are, who said $10, $15 Casper inevitable, which, again, that's asking for a $260 billion market cap this cycle, which I think is a bit excessive. All of that caused Casper to rise so high so early, and then it's gone through such a long, drawn-out, depression that it's price depression at least, recession, depression, it's caused people to kind of lose faith. But the plan has never changed. Fundamentally, it's not changed. Casper is still, in my belief, as strong as it was beforehand. I am very happy with the dip. I bought another $100 worth of Casper yesterday. I'm starting to DCA on the dip because my instincts tell me that Casper will make a massive move in autumn. I think you're right, Mr. Miles. Honestly, I do. I think it's the smart thing you've ever said. But yeah, no, I think DCAing Casper right now, in my belief, it's not financial advice, my belief, and Mr. Miles' belief as well, I guess, it may not be a bad shout right now, because I think Casper's about to make a very, very big move this quarter, end of this quarter going into Q4. Casper has a major catalyst forming, not updates, no smart contracts, but newfound focus. Yeah, that's also, I mentioned that in my video as well. I said the biggest catalyst out of everything actually was not necessarily the smart contracts and the tier 1 listings and all that stuff. It's that the Bitcoin maximalists have finally started taking note of Casper and talking about it. And some of them even allocating their Bitcoin only portfolios to start scooping up Casper. 10% of their Bitcoin only portfolios are now going to Casper as well. And when the Bitcoin dominance falls off, the money's going to go into Casper. It's not going to go into these Ethereum or XRPs because these Bitcoin maxis don't trust that. It's proof of stake. Casper is the same thing. But yeah, all the dips are being bought up aggressively in the past few weeks, and I think it's probably into Bitcoin Maxes as well. You've got an update here from Okta as well. I did post in my community, or at least to my VIPs ahead of time, which is quite a cool thing from Okta, talking about how they're the only Web3 compute provider to unlock full virtualized environments. Now they're the only decentralized compute platform in the world that supports running nodes on both Linux and Windows. Now I'm not sure, and Cody asked me the question I'm quite curious about as well. I'm not sure how they're going to monetize that, but it's big for Okta if they're able to support running nodes on Linux and on Windows as well. So it looks like Okta are, again, cooking. They've had a lot of big updates recently. They're still lacking their exchanges. They need their listings, truth be told. But I'm becoming increasingly more and more optimistic for Okta. I haven't invested just yet. I do look into it, though. They're working along the deck now. They're seemingly working close to Casper now. And now they're doing this stuff as well. It's interesting. If they get some big exchange listings, not even big ones, but just more than just Mexi, Gate, CoinNext, Uniswap, and Pancake. If they get some more, get me a KuCoin, or get me a Kraken, or something a bit more, then I'll be more incentivized to think that Okta could do at least a more. It's currently at a $18-20 million market cap. I'd like to believe it can go to 100. For what it is, it's a micro cap. I think it could do a lot more, and they're a lot more volatile, these. But it has connections to, it's got stuff like AI as well in it, which I think is another big element as well. The economy is going down for sure. Tariffs are killing. It's a good possibility that no rate cuts. Yeah, it's a good possibility of that. But at the same time, I would argue at this stage of the economy that if we don't get rate cuts in September, I want rate cuts to be delayed as long as possible. And again, as in the VIP, you know what I mean by that. I know Greg and Tony and Joking, these individuals have seen that already and know what I mean by that. I would argue that if we don't get rate cuts in September, then the first time we get them, which will happen either probably in October or December, there's still belief that we'll see 2 rate cuts, apparently, after the unemployment data. If we don't get rate cuts in September, October or December, that'll be potentially that cycle top indicator. But who knows? Yeah, 130k Bitcoin's a bit rough, but it's not that unheard of. In fact, I was kind of expecting it as well myself. I just had a thought, guys. Instead of speculating on prices, what would be good general amount of the bull run, including instead of speculating on prices, what would be a good general amount for the bull run, including Casper tokens? Also, how much you're worth holding. I mean, it's up to you. It depends on it depends on how much you want, your situation, your financial situation, your living conditions, and ultimately how much you want to have. The question I do get asked frequently is, how much to be a millionaire, or like how much should I have, etc., etc. Like, and I'm like, it's not an easy question to ask or answer even, because how much do I need to retire? The question being like that. Well, it depends on how much you own, but also how much Casper you own, where you live, and how much you need to live, quality of life, and plus, are you going to take it all? You're going to keep it all in Casper? There's so much to take into account. Long-term investors are professional at being patient. It's literally only been a year since all-time highs. Yeah, true. Very true. I mean, it's been a year since all-time highs. It's been a long year, but the thing is, and this is one thing that I think is very important, the stock market, the TradFi market is coming into crypto. They are seeing crypto, according to my institutional research, which you can find out in more detail in the VIP, they're looking at crypto as a 7-8 year term thing. 7-8 years. So they're looking into it right now and laying the foundations right now for the next 7 to 8 years. They see some big catalysts coming in the next 2-3 years, the big ones, and then going bigger from that point on as well. 7-8 years though. These Wall Street institutions are used to holding these investments, their stocks, whatever it may be, for 10 plus years, making investments off that, making ROI off that. Crypto has always been a get-rich-quick scheme. It's maturing. It's changing. I don't know what to tell you about it. It is going through a radical transformation, and this is actually good for us because you're going to see a lot more capital flowing into crypto again with everything coming on crypto. Where's the post about it? Well, yeah, the Project Crypto here. This actually is the Project Crypto is a way to bring everything on chain, tokenization of everything. Stocks, bonds, and everything will come on crypto. So it's not a get-rich-quick scheme anymore. It's maturing. We are currently going through the maturing ourselves from this get-rich-quick every cycle casino type thing, which we can still do now. You know, again, we're doing it in our VIP through meme coin trading. We made a 10x and 7x just a few days ago, and it could be through leverage trading as well. You can still make them, go through the meme coins as well. You can still do it, but it's maturing more to the point where now you're looking to make long-term holds. You put money in now, you forget about it for the next 5 years, 10 years, and then you come back to it. That's not to say that crypto and Casper won't do well this cycle, but the cycle's maturing, so you've got to potentially start changing your trading your investment strategies and stuff as well. I mean, having 20k Casper and 10 million KRCs, if you have the right KRCs, is not a bad thing at all. If you can afford that, it's not a bad strat at all. Why is everyone looking bearish? Because people like to complain, or not complain, but people are very emotional by nature. Humans are emotional, so they just start being very bearish. But it is what it is. But yeah, precisely. That's why we are people who are emotional right now. Understandable. I'm not trying to discredit you at all, but yeah, they're part of the 99% who end up losing and being part of the mistake. 1% actually understand what's coming right now. And what's up, Anthony Ahoy T2 brother? I bet Casper is down 50% on the year, but what people don't realize is Casper's up. Yeah, exactly. On the year, it's down 50%, 60%, but it's up 57% since its inception. You know, that's of course those who got in, if you got in that early, then it means more for you. If you got in later, which a lot of us probably did, then you know it's different entirely. You're still like, oh, I'm only down from when I got in, and that's not good. But Casper is still got more to go. Again, I'm not worried about it. Look at Casper dominance. We were perfectly bottom and touching their support. I mean, yeah, I did have a look at Bitcoin dominance, and yeah, I did think that we were potentially going to see such support, but we'll have to wait and see again. The market's down. It happens. I'm not worried. You shouldn't be worried. At one point, Bitcoin also went down to 1K, then corrected to $200 ages ago. It happened, then zoom out. I mean, yeah, it's a long-term play, precisely. Is Casper considered security? No. Because it's fair long proof of work like Bitcoin, it'd be a commodity. So with the Clarity Act coming out, Casper will be under the CFTC's jurisdiction, which is less restrictive, and that would be better for Casper as well. Are there any news regarding Casper? We've gone through quite a bit of it this stream. Mainly, I guess, any new updates regarding Casper would basically just be this DAG scan thing. Everything else has kind of been recapping what's happened already, and the video I made as well, recapping everything as well. But there's been nothing, namely that new for Casper this stream, truth be told. It'd be more so a recap, and then big macro news coming out this stream, but for Casper as an individual project, not particularly. Yeah, I think I don't know who I'd feel sorry for, my community and my family, or actually no, yeah, I'd feel sorry for them. I think that if that ever happens, Lord forbid. Just buy more Casper, go for it, man. How the gaming crypto can do well. What did you say? I mean, I'll give a breakdown about gaming cryptos and the utility of gaming coins later on, and why I'm bullish on them. I used to talk about Gala back in the day, but I don't trust them anymore. I think there are some good gaming projects out there. I think ones that I did well last cycle. I thought Vulcan Forge did very well last cycle, but it has come down, and I did some of Vulcan Forge, which did hurt me, but I think it was worthwhile, and I was smart in doing that. Vulcan Forge one I did very well last cycle. If it can survive, I might get into it again, because I mean, if it does return to all-time highs, which seems daunting, but look how low Vulcan Forge was down here. 1.3, it valued up to $50. You know, so I'm not saying it's not possible. Vulcan Forge was one, Myriad's a new one. Ultra right now, because there's been such a tough altcoin cycle, a lot of assets are bleeding badly, but they'll come back in my belief. The game wants to do very, very well. Because they have got great utility, and I think you're seeing that merge happening right now. I mean, GTA 6, for example, is going to have Bitcoin payment options, from what we've heard from leaks. That'd be fantastic. So you're seeing it happen more and more, which is great, and I'll explain the utility of gaming cryptos at a later date, because that's a whole 10-minute segment itself, honestly. But it also brings more value to NFTs as well, in regards to the trading market as well. But yeah, it depends on the game as well. Yeah, like if you're using if it's a Rocket League type game, a FIFA type game, or a Counter-Strike type game, it depends on the game as well. Or if it's like a Steam type project where it's actually a protocol or project that's building games on a platform, which is what Ultra's like. Ultra's basically meant to be like Steam. They're down very, they're down a lot right now. But truth be told, I'm almost inclined. I say almost because I'm not sure yet. I need to look more into them to see if it's actually worthwhile, because they've been coming down heavily and it looks like it's almost a dead project now. If I can look into it and I think it's still got potential, I might have just hedged a very tiny bag into that. Because if it returns to all-time highs from here at what, basically 5 cents, that's a 500x from there, basically, if I'm done my maths correctly. But that's not me telling you to get into it. Again, always do your own research. Stablecoin next would also be massive use online games. Also very true, yes. Stablecoin would be big. What's up, Wing Hong, bro? You did very, very well with Moon yet? No. Been a bad day today, but hopefully soon. When will we see Casper all-time high? I can't imagine that feeling. I'm hoping the next few months, honestly. I'm sure we will, Wing Hong, in due time. Stop being British. Oh, go away. Go away. We are voting in September. Oh, we're cutting in September. I hope we're cutting in September. That would be good, but at the same time, if we don't cut in September, then I hope we don't cut at all this year, honestly. Tariffs aren't killing the economy. 30% price hikes on all the products off from the Biden era, and are still killing it. I mean, tariffs are causing investor FUD. I mentioned it in the video as well. Tariffs are causing investor FUD, but by all regards, the financial markets at least are at all-time highs despite the tariffs. So evidently tariffs aren't as bad as people make it out to be, but they do cause continual FUD, as we're seeing in the market right now. I'm changing my name to Cryptony. Don't. No. Leave Tony and leave Cryptony alone. Mr. Miles, stop it. This returns some of my clothes to buy more Casper. Hey, love the conviction, LB. I think most crypto gaming plays will fail in favor of stables. Stables will use the network of crypto, but it's still a local currency that keeps things a lot cleaner and easier. It's not a bad thesis. Again, I need to look more into gaming crypto myself, honestly. Because I got into them big last cycle, and I have a soft spot for them. So I need to try and see if there are any, optimistic gaming projects coming out that might be worth a little hedge into. Because, I mean, I made some good games the last cycle from them as well. My last cycle, I did badly, and the gaming crypto saved me. Actually, funny enough, it's from Alex Becker that kind of got me into that. Crazy to think about that, but the gaming crypto is what saved me. And why I ended up being positive last cycle, and then I learned a lot through research, and then started doing this stuff here to kind of teach everybody here, or help inform everybody here about kind of the importance of doing information and research and knowing what's coming. So again, if you want to find out more information and more detail, check out the VIP, wop.com/coinfactory down in the description, and also on my homepage there as well. Got 3 for 7 days, join for 3 for 7 days, or equally for a month. If you start to the affiliate link down below at BYDFI, to do that, message me on Discord, and I'll help you out getting a 1 month free trial to the Coin Factory executives. Welcome back, Don Carlos, bro. You did very, very well. Welcome back to the stream, man. But unfortunately, actually tuning in quite late, unless you're watching on playback. That being said, that'll be for today's Casper Crypto live stream, family. I'm very, very sorry, but that was 1 year straight, pretty much, of me streaming. That's a 1 year anniversary for today's stream. Not the most bullish day for crypto, unfortunately. Feels like I'm repeating history, honestly. But yeah, it's been a good year. Not price-wise for Casper, but I think it's been a very informative and productive year for us all. Help us learn more, definitely. But our convictions, definitely, as well. So enjoy the streams that we do every single day here. Leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. Tomorrow's stream will be earlier than usual, so stay tuned to the Discord community and the announcement channels. If you want to know more about crypto and Casper, check out the free community, also the VIP, also the Twitter page. All information is in the homepage right here, or down in the description below. And the BYDFI affiliate link, if you want to level up your trading game, benefits from 70% discount on all trading, 1 month free trial to Coin Factory Executive, or permanent VIP access to the BYDFI channels in there as well. All information available, all benefits available. That being said, family, happy 1 year. Have a great day, good evening, and good night. Don't be emotional, be logical, and I see